do you guys remember when Chamber got released?
I want to know.
He's a remake of Yoru with
But then our past two agents have been the exact opposite. Deadlock seemed like a pretty decent sentinel, emerged between Cypher and Sage, but once we all got our hands on her, we realized just how bad she actually was. And Gecko, well, he's still out there trying to catch them all. I believe after all this trial and error, Riot has finally hit the sweet spot with ISO. So today, I'm going to cover ISO's place in the current meta. Now, let me get this out of the way right off the bat. I don't think ISO is going to have a place in the pro scene, and that's totally fine. Let me explain. See, the thing is, Riot has to optimize the game and its meta for two different playing fields. On one side, you have the rank/competitive, and on the other, you have the pro scene. I'm not even taking into consideration the casual side of Valorant because it's obvious Riot does not care about that. And let's be fair, it's really hard to put out an agent that fits on both sides of the playing field without being overpowered. We saw from Chamber, for example, he was so busted in OP that not only were the pros abusing him, I had a friend who went from plat to immortal in less than a month just insta-locking Chamber. That's how good he was. So Riot's goal with every agent release is to hit somewhere right in the middle between ranked and comp, because if you skew just a little bit too much over to the pro scene, the agent becomes busted and overpowered. So far, the general consensus with ISO is that he really can't replace anyone in the current meta. If you look at him as advertised as a duelist, he's competing against Raze and Jet, which that's obviously not going to happen. ISO cannot compete with either one of those. Jet and Raze just have way too much movement potential to get out of enemy choke points and to cut into the back lines of sites. So that's not happening. If you take ISO as an initiator, like I've kind of been viewing him, well, now he's competing with Sova Fade, Sky, and Breach, all of which, except for Breach, obviously, have some sort of recon capability. That's the key. In the pro scene, when you say initiator, it's usually some sort of recon, some form of utility that can go in and clear the 50-50s, check the hard close angles, and or get information on where the enemies are playing. With ISO, you have no recon other than maybe throwing your body on the line with his wall and maybe his ult. And again, you're sacrificing your ult for that, where you could just buy a Sova drone. So ISO is kind of in the middle of both an initiator and a duelist. He doesn't fit one way or another. That's part of what makes him perfectly balanced. Unfortunately, because he's balanced, he's not going to fit into that pro scene. Because for an agent to fit into the pro meta, it has to excel at whatever it's currently replacing. If you look at Chamber, for example, he completely replaced Jet because he was better at what Jet offered in that meta. And hence the title of this video. ISO is not better than any of the current meta agents, but he's not deadlock bad either. He is smack dab in the middle, and that's why it's perfectly fine. Just like you are in the middle of debating whether or not you should subscribe and like, so be like Chamber and smash that sub button. So if ISO is not going to fit in the meta in the pro scene, why is he going to be picked in rank? Because he looks hella fun to play. Not only that, you can still have great team impact while being self-sufficient to have that clutch and frag potential. That's why he is a great ranked pick. I'm not joking when I say this. If you are looking for a ranked agent to play and don't have the balls to play Reyna or Jet, but at the same time don't want to be as passive as Sky or Sage, ISO is perfect for you. Hear me out. He's not going to be replacing the duelist insta-lockers, right? People are going to be still picking the Reynas, the Jets, the Razes. That's still going to happen. ISO's not competing for that duelist spot. Even though he says he's a duelist, he's competing for those John fills. When smokes are filled, duelists are filled, initiators are filled. We all have those and or have been through that exact scenario in our agent select screen, right? You got your duelist insta-lockers, those Sage mommies, you have the smoke Omen mains, and then you're stuck there thinking, oh, who should I play? Should I play another duelist? Should I play a Sky, KO? Or maybe we're playing Haven. Should I play Killjoy so we can have a little bit more map control and flank watch? This agent is competing for that slot in rank. The people who are saying, I don't want to completely rely on my duelist to get kills, but I also don't want to play Killjoy and Ascent because I'm going to be absolutely worthless. Nobody's ever going to come to my site. ISO's kit and utility is a perfect unison of some for them, some for me. If you can set up team plays, ask your Breach to throw up a flash so you can go in there, get your shield, or in retake scenarios, let's say the enemy took site, there's a Viper's pit on site now, your ult can take that Viper off the playing field and give your team a winning chance. On attacking especially, if you've seen my How to Master in the ISO for Noob series, you'll know that he excels on site takes. The site execs, you throw up your wall, maybe a contingency if you have the time, and just lead your team into site like an initiator. And on top of that, if you get a kill during that take, you get a free shield. I can't stress enough how perfect of an agent he is for those solo queuers. For the people who want to offer something for the team, but don't want to completely rely on their Jets and their Reynas to get kills. If you are one of those people, get your fingers ready because when he comes out, you should be insta-locking him. But before you do that, make sure to verse yourself well with ISO's kit by watching my How to Master ISO series right here.